At the Lock Mill Capital Company, trade processor Zara welcomes new intern Myrtle and gives her a tour, explaining the company invests pension money for corporations, government agencies, and unions. In the lobby, a mysterious group passes through security without issue. In the elevator, they put on gloves, pull out weapons, and Scott activates a phone jammer. They exit on floor 27, aim guns at receptionist Donnie, cover his head with a blood-stained bag, and use a computer to disable the security system. The group enters the office, forcing everyone away from their computers and making them drop phones into a bin before herding them to the conference room. After attaching the phone jammer to a window, Leader London asks for trade processing department employees for a stand, including Zara, but she keeps Myrtle down. London asks why. Zara explains Myrtle is new and knows nothing. London selects Luke and Zara to return to their desks. He hands them a memory stick with 6 trades. Luke inserts it. He protests these are £4 billion in honest people's pensions, but London orders him to proceed, pressing a gun to his head as Luke nervously makes errors. 3 employees arrive late after traffic. They see Glasses at reception, who pretends she's filling in for a sick Donnie. Entering the office, they're immediately surrounded, phones taken, and dragged to the conference room. Once trades are done, Luke returns the memory stick to London. Scott selects committee members to approve the trades. An employee points out the custodian bank holds the money, not the company, but he's ignored. After committee approval, Zara completes the transfer. Luke notes the bank will call about strange account movements, so London says they'll wait. In reception, an employee delivers mail. Glasses again pretends to be Donnie's replacement, readying her gun under the desk. He notices nothing and leaves. Minutes later, the bank calls Luke. London tells him to act normal. Luke breaks down, so Zara takes over. She tells the banker a story about new hedge funds from the manager. The banker promises same-day transfer. After the call, London announces they're staying until money reaches their accounts. In the conference room, Donnie moves drapes, making hand gestures at the neighboring building, signaling them to call 911. Yorkshire sees him, beats him with his gun, and drags him to the bathroom. He restrains Donnie beside another wounded employee. Yorkshire asks if anyone saw, Donnie says no. Returning to the office, Yorkshire reports Donnie lied. Burley checks the window and confirms people in the other building are watching. The robbers consider aborting, but confirmation arrives that money transferred. They send Luke and Zara to the conference room and lock it. After retrieving jammers and hiding guns in bags, they leave. By the time police arrive, the robbers are gone. Police focus on freeing employees and taking the injured to hospital. Reporters soon swarm the area. Detective Ree talks privately with Zara. Suddenly her nose bleeds. She retreats to the bathroom. Hiding in a stall to calm down, she overhears employees discussing the possibility of an inside job. She smiles, revealing she was part of the plan. Next morning, Zara checks her crypto wallet, finding £5 million as payment. She transfers everything to a hard drive cold wallet. She seals it in a plastic bag and hides it behind her refrigerator. At the police station, Detective Ellie tells her team facial recognition can't identify the thieves. They wore prosthetics and gloves, leaving no fingerprints. All used different public transport. They disappeared into camera black spots, tickets paid with cloned debit cards. When Zara arrives at the office, reporters are everywhere. In the lobby, a guard checks her ID. She asks Luke to talk privately, revealing he was part of the plan. Zara tells him about the £5 million. He's shocked, they were promised only £100,000. She tells him to move the money immediately. This will sever any connection to the gang. Their conversation is interrupted by Wayne, who shares another employee was offered £5,000 by a reporter for office photos and gossip. Luke is called for a follow-up interview with financial investigator Darren, Ellie, and Ree. Darren asks if it's normal to have £4 billion in cash. Luke explains they were mid-portfolio rebalancing, done every few years. Darren calls it a big coincidence to be robbed on that rare day. Luke grows extremely nervous. Zara watches through the glass and gets nervous too. She rushes to the bathroom. Darren asks about trade authorization. Luke confirms the committee had to approve, they only meet weekly. Darren thinks it's another suspicious coincidence. Ree reminds Luke the thieves nearly killed co-workers and offers protection if he talks. Luke has nothing to say. After he leaves, Darren tells the detectives he'd target trade processing if he needed an inside man. Ree believes Luke is guilty with an accomplice, but they lack enough for arrest. Luke tells Zara the police know it was an inside job. Later, all employees attend a trauma session. The therapist asks Zara if she has anything to share. She hasn't spoken, but says she feels the same as everyone. The therapist asks Luke the same question. He wonders if he'll ever feel safe again. After work, Zara tells Luke to call in sick with stress and transfer his money to a cold wallet using a VPN. She reminds him not to call her. Ree meets his superior, Nichols, questioning why it took so long to get a financial investigator. Nichols claims they needed time to find the best one. Ree criticizes him for not pressuring the company and custodian bank for account details. Nichols says there are more important things happening. When Ree asks what's more important than thousands of lost pensions, Nichols walks away. Darren finally receives documents from the custodian bank. Money went to a private Virgin Islands bank known as a tax haven. Ellie asks if the transfer can be reversed. Darren says no, the money will disappear quickly. Ree wonders if it's already gone. When Luke gets home, he notices cars following him. He closes his curtains. He hides in his closet to transfer money to a hard drive. After retrieving her hard drive from its hiding spot, Zara visits her mother, Haley, claiming she wants to repair their relationship. Haley thinks Zara is just checking off a to-do list. An argument ensues, interrupted by a knock. While Haley answers, Zara rushes to her old bedroom. She moves a floorboard, retrieves a box, places the hard drive inside, and returns it. Zara finds Haley watching her and pretends she was feeling nostalgic. Afterward, Zara takes a bus. Luke calls, explaining he's being followed and thinks his apartment may be bugged. Zara says she'll come. In a car outside Luke's apartment, Scotts and Sniper listen to the conversation, watching him check lights for wiretaps. They agree he's a liability. Scotts checks the other car and confirms it's police. Sniper sends out Junior, who pretends to be a pizza delivery boy, ringing bells until someone lets him in. Junior rushes to the garage and opens the gate for his teammates. Meanwhile, Ree joins a poker game but leaves earlier than usual. He gets a call from Luke asking him to come to his apartment, saying he can't explain why. Ree alerts Nichols, who is one of the cops in the police car. Nichols sends a guard on a walkaround. When someone knocks, a terrified Luke sees Junior through the peephole and doesn't open. Burley uses a ram to break down the door. The three men rush in while Luke hides in his closet, waiting until they're distracted to emerge. At that moment, Zara rings the bell. Burley turns and tackles him. Luke stabs him in the shoulder with a screwdriver and runs. Sniper pursues, following bloodstains Luke left on handles. At the door, tenants are exiting. Zara slips inside and tries to take the elevator. Junior holds Burley at the doors to keep them from closing. After retrieving the wiretap, Junior moves Burley. They go to the garage. When the elevator reaches the lobby, Zara sees the bloodstain and runs to hide. Luke spots Sniper. He runs downstairs to the lobby, only to be knocked down by Junior, who grabs him. Sniper punches him several times before injecting a sedative. Zara witnesses everything and breaks down. Sniper takes Luke and Burley away in the car. Junior stays to steal security tapes. After he leaves, Zara picks up the empty sedative vial. When Ree arrives, he catches Zara leaving through a window. While other squads search for Luke, Ree takes Zara to a cafe, asking about her involvement. She denies it. Zara says a terrified Luke called her, she came over, and found blood in the elevator. She claims she escaped through the window thinking criminals were at the door. Ree goes to Luke's apartment, telling Ellie that Zara is obviously involved. They should put her under surveillance. A flashback shows Zara and Luke drinking at a bar, complaining about bosses making all the money while paying employees minimum wage. Luke goes to the bathroom to consume drugs and shares that people from an online video game offered £100,000 for help hacking a pension plan. Zara is wary, Luke admits he's in debt. They argue until someone knocks. When they leave the bar, Luke asks Zara to help again, saying if she keeps this boring job she'll end up like her mother. Zara insults him, saying she'll get a promotion. The next morning, her request is turned down. She tells Luke she'll consider helping but wants to meet the people first. In the present, Ree takes his gambling earnings to Matt. Matt threatens to sell his loan to loan sharks if Ree doesn't pay the rest in a week. At the office, Darren informs Ree about Luke's finances, 7 overdrawn personal accounts with no unusual transactions. Zara's balance is low but clean. He suggests bypassing the Virgin Island Bank and searching for leaked offshore account details, though that information wouldn't be prosecutable. Ree authorizes him to search from his house. Zara follows a tutorial to lift a fingerprint from the vial. She needs hydrogen peroxide from the store. Returning home, she finds Ellie with Secret Service agent Sam wanting her statement about last night. She has no choice but to let them in, quickly hiding the vial. Zara tells them the same story, but Ellie says it doesn't match their surveillance log showing she was inside for 10 minutes. Ellie finds it suspicious she wore a hood in warm weather. The cab supposedly dropping her off doesn't appear on cameras. Zara says the driver dropped her down the street to avoid traffic. She signs her statement while noticing Sam watching her back. When they leave, Ellie tells Sam that Zara is definitely guilty with enough evidence for surveillance. Sam thinks she won't give them anything and wants to focus on finding money or Luke first, saying he'll talk to Nichols to cancel the surveillance request. Ree visits Haley, telling her Zara is involved with dangerous people. Haley thinks Zara is too weak and scared for crime and claims she hasn't seen her in months. After Ree leaves, Haley goes to Zara's room. Another flashback shows Luke and Zara meeting London and his crew to discuss the heist. The gang assures them nobody will get hurt and they won't be implicated. When the gang leaves, Zara pays a cab to follow them, seeing their cars stop at a warehouse where one robber enters. In the present, Zara manages to get the fingerprint from the vial. Darren shows Ree the destination accounts, all registered to a shell company called Gould Simmons. Ree recognizes the famous defense contractor's name. He tells Darren to leak the details because their bosses won't act. Darren explains he found this easily, the Secret Service probably knew 10 minutes after the heist. At the station, Ellie tells Ree about Sam. It feels like they're pulling her away from Zara. She thinks both Sam and Nichols are involved. Ree tells her to act cool, he'll handle it. In the evening, Zara goes to the warehouse, waiting until 2 men exit to sneak inside. She searches rooms until finding security cameras. She displays the vial, leaving it on the desk. As she's about to leave, a guard finds her, demanding to know how she knew this address. Zara runs, tripping over boxes before escaping. A car starts following her. She enters a crowded pub. When 2 men come after her, she leaves through the back door, sneaks behind a car, and runs fast to lose them. After boarding a bus, Zara calls Haley asking to visit. Haley says she's at work, telling her to come tomorrow. After hanging up, it's revealed Haley is home. At the station, Ree asks Nichols for the truth. Nichols takes him outside, explaining powerful people are threatening him. He tells Ree to find an excuse to quit the case, unable to guarantee his safety, especially given Ree's debt problems. Zara goes to her mother's house anyway. Haley startles her, saying she already took the hard drive. Haley wants money. Zara explains she needs the hard drive to leave the country. She promises to pay later, but Haley doesn't believe her. They argue. When Haley tells her to think about it and call in a few days, Zara says she won't be alive. When Zara gets home, she sees someone in her apartment and men down the street. She hides behind a car. At that moment, Ree shows up and takes her away in his car. Zara complains about robbers following her. Ree corrects her, those were Secret Service agents. If they catch her, they'll torture her for information. Zara demands to know what's happening, threatening to jump from the car. Ree parks so they can talk. He explains the Secret Service blocked his surveillance request and his investigation was set up to fail. Zara finally admits she helped with the robbery, though she'd been told the gang would hack the accounts. They go for coffee. Ree convinces Zara to team up. She takes him to the warehouse, waiting in the car while he goes inside. She finds Ree's wallet and reads his ID details. At that moment, a white van parks nearby. Zara honks the horn in fear. The van drives away. Ree immediately returns. After confirming she's fine, he explains the warehouse has been emptied. They walk down a busy street discussing whether an investment committee member was also involved. Ree stops at an ATM to withdraw money. Zara notices he only has £212. He asks if she can get meeting notes from the committee. She explains they're on a network drive only committee members can access and she'll try getting passwords from the secretary. Ree gives her cash, telling her not to use her credit card or phone. At a hotel, Zara rents a room. Before Ree leaves, she gives him the fingerprint. Next morning, at a remote farmhouse, the gang watches footage of Zara leaving the vial. London scolds Sniper for leaving evidence. Upstairs, Luke hears everything. Sniper drags him to the kitchen. The gang asks what he told Zara. Luke swears only necessary information. Sniper kicks him. Luke insists he did nothing. London wonders if they can trust her. At the lab, Ree convinces a scientist to run the fingerprint without reporting it. He gets a text from Matt reminding him only 6 days remain to pay. He meets a bank friend to ask for a loan but is told his chances are almost zero. Ellie shows the team a picture of a burned vehicle found on farmland, apparently the one used to kidnap Luke. Ree goes to see Nichols and Sam. They've received information from the newspaper about the money's location. Darren did secretly leak it. Nichols sends Ree and Sam to investigate, telling them to be careful. At the office, Zara asks Kate if she can use a committee office, saying her desk has bad memories. Kate sends her to a different desk. After working a while, Zara approaches the committee secretary, pretending she has a question, then acts like she has an upset stomach. The secretary goes to get a biscuit. Zara accesses the computer and prints everything she needs. When the secretary returns, Zara takes the biscuit and rushes to retrieve the paper from the printer. Moments later, Sam, Darren, and Ree visit defense contractor Gould. Gould swears he has no idea why the robber sent money to his account. They ask for account access and documents. Gould refuses. Sam asks him to return the money, but Gould's lawyer says it's no longer in his account, claiming it was moved 10 minutes after arrival by a hack. Darren says that's more reason to examine the account, otherwise it'll look like Gould did it. When Gould cites the Official Secrets Act, Darren says it doesn't apply. Gould uses the account for bribes and the newspaper probably already knows. Gould insults him. Darren insults back. Gould kicks them out. As they leave, the lawyer approaches. She gives them her business card and agrees to send the necessary information. She reveals that when Gould's account was hacked, the thieves took his money too. Gould will talk to the press soon. Ree realizes he'll want to look like a victim. At the farmhouse, Sniper is tired of hiding. He wants to change plans, but London reminds him they've been compromised and must wait for orders from their boss. Luke watches the gang argue. In the evening, Sniper brings Luke food. Luke says he's right, the others are messing with him. Luke offers payment for help, but Sniper leaves. Ree gets a text from his friend, the loan was turned down. At the office, Zara waits until all employees leave, accesses the committee computer, finds the notes, and prints them. When Ree calls, she tells him to come over. Myrtle and Milo return. Myrtle forgot her phone. Zara quickly hides. Milo notices the printer is on. Luckily, Myrtle distracts him by promising intimate times. They leave without seeing Zara. When Ree arrives, he tells her the warehouse was rented by a Panamanian front company. Zara shows him the committee notes indicating all that cash resulted from a risk report. She thinks the numbers were fake to force that decision. The report is signed by Milo, Kate, and another employee. Zara explains the third employee left 3 months ago. Milo is an idiot, so Kate is probably behind this. She checks all reports and should catch weird numbers. Ree takes Zara to the restaurant where he plays poker and tells her about the situation. She claims the robbers never paid her. Next morning, Zara runs simulations on her computer to find the origin of the fake risk numbers. Since it'll take a while, she goes for lunch. A Secret Service agent sits at her table, telling her she's surrounded. Another agent has a syringe that could kill her in 10 minutes, making it look like a heart attack. Following instructions, Zara leaves the restaurant and enters a cab where a man waits with a gun. At the farmhouse, Sniper has had enough and talks to Luke to make a deal. Luke offers half his money, but Sniper wants it all. When Luke threatens to drop the deal, Sniper agrees to take everything. Sniper doesn't know if he should believe him. Luke explains he'll give Sniper Zara's money, not his own. After driving around town, the cab drops Zara near the pier. The agents force her to walk with them. They know about her secret investigation with Ree and that she has important information. If she doesn't cooperate, they'll kill her. Zara explains she needs to finish the investigation to get the name they need. She promises to deliver it. In return, she wants to stay out of prison and keep the money. The agent explains they can't grant immunity. She gives Zara her card. She tells her to call when she has the name. Later, Ree tries calling Zara, she ignores him. He watches Gould on TV denying any connection to the heist. Someone rings his bell. Ree is shocked to find Zara at the door. She's guessed he's drowning in debt and wonders if he's been using her for the money. Ree denies it. He explains his job is the only thing he has left. If he loses it, he'll lose his soul to gambling. Zara finally understands he's trying to save himself. Ree admits he likes Zara's company. She kisses him. They sleep together. Next morning, Ree receives a message from the lab with possible fingerprint matches. Zara looks at all the pictures until she identifies Sniper. At the police station, Ellie informs Ree of another leak. The stolen money has been moved to dodgy offshore accounts linked to the Chancellor's family trust. There's now a political scandal on the news. Ree talks to Ellie privately, showing her Sniper's picture and asking for help catching him. At the office, Wayne scolds Zara for using the risk modeling software, explaining she locked up the server. When she asks how he knew, he says there's a log. Zara rushes to her desk and checks the log, discovering the one messing with numbers was actually Milo. She confronts him privately, scolding until he admits everything. He was recruited by the robbers. He recruited Luke. Milo has no idea who hired them all but has an emergency number on a burner phone. He'll give it to Zara if she agrees not to tell the agents about him. Zara takes the deal. They go to Milo's house, where he reveals he was paid £20 million for the job. After cleaning the phone to remove fingerprints, he gives it to Zara. She realizes the robbers already had Luke and Milo inside and wonders why they involved her too. Milo explains he and Luke knew about the heist but didn't tell her because she wouldn't approve. The thieves requested a third person from lower ranks. They picked Zara from all the employee profiles Milo provided, never explaining why. But Milo and Luke had a theory: the robbers would blame everything on Zara, then kill her, making it look like self-termination. People would believe it because she's the biggest mess in the office. She has no family. She drinks on weekends to forget her bad job. Zara is devastated by how people see her. She breaks a vase on her way out. Meanwhile, Ellie and revisit Sniper's daughter. She hasn't talked to her father in months but lets them check her phone's call history. The detectives investigate the number, discovering it comes from a SIM card sold in the same area where the burned car was found. They need to investigate the license plate, so Ree will send fake requests to hide the real one. At the train station, Zara gets a call from Ree but ignores it. She looks at the agent's card instead. Ree finishes his research, finding the burned car's plate on several street cameras. Its last trip goes to a farm. At the farmhouse, Luke sees the gang leave. Sniper bursts into his room, announcing they're leaving too. When Luke reaches the corridor, he's shocked to find Junior dead on the floor. Sniper says this is what he asked for and forces him to keep moving. While Sniper loads bags into a car, Luke pretends to get in but runs away. Sniper chases and punches him unconscious. Meanwhile, Zara meets with the agents, giving them the phone number. The agents give her documents for a new identity but warn they'll be red flagged if the number is fake. Zara mustn't contact anyone and must leave within 24 hours. Afterward, Zara visits her mother. They agree on a deal. Haley gives her the cold wallet. Zara connects it to a laptop, only to discover the balance is zero, it's corrupted. Zara realizes her mother asked someone to try hacking the hard drive, which wiped the entire balance. Haley freaks out, asking Zara to fix it. Zara finally snaps, shoves her down, then throws the hard drive to the ground, breaking it. She leaves in tears. After walking a few blocks, it's revealed Zara exchanged the hard drives, she has the real one with the money. When the gang returns to the farmhouse, they discover Sniper and Luke gone and must leave too. By the time detectives arrive, the Secret Service has already raided the place. Sam says it was an anonymous tip-off. He also knows Ree has been seeing Zara. He told Nichols, so Ree is now suspended. Moments later, Ree arrives home. Zara waits for him, admitting she helped the Secret Service. She apologizes, explaining she needed a way to escape this mess. Zara wants to give him her cold wallet so he can pay his debt. But Ree yells at her, saying money doesn't matter now that he may lose his job. He insults her, saying she ruined his life before kicking her out. Zara gives him back the cash he lent her for the hotel before leaving. When Zara gets home, she finds Sniper pointing a gun at her. Luke is tied to a chair. Sniper asks for her cold wallet. He threatens to kill Luke, but Zara points out if she gives it to him, he'll kill them both. She has £5 million, but Milo has £20 million. She'll take Sniper to Milo if he lets them go. Sniper agrees, but Zara must give him her wallet with codes now. They'll exchange at Milo's place. Meanwhile, Ree uses the cash Zara gave him to gamble. However, after watching reports about the scandal on TV, he regrets it and leaves. Since he can't access his police account, he calls Ellie for help. She can't talk because Sam is watching her. He calls Darren, asking him to meet at the company. In a hideout, the gang is informed of a new job. They get ready but abandon Burley, who probably won't survive the night. At Milo's house, Sniper rings the bell while the others wait in the car. Luke calls Zara brilliant for her lie. Zara explains Milo lied, he was paid £20 million for real. Since nobody is home, Sniper returns to the car. When Milo finally arrives, he finds the trio in his living room and tells Sniper where the safe is, giving him the password. While Sniper retrieves the cold wallet, Milo grabs pepper spray from the coffee table. Sniper asks for the wallet codes, but Milo explains he hid them at the office. When Sniper gets close enough, Milo sprays his face. Sniper brings him down and stabs him with a knife. After Milo dies, Sniper is ready to kill the others. However, Luke knows where Milo's hiding spot is. Outside the company building, Ree waits for Darren. He's shocked to see Sniper arrive with Luke and Zara, and calls 911. At Milo's house, the gang finds the body and notices his keycard is missing. They conclude Sniper went to the office. In the company lobby, Sniper breaks the guard's neck. They go to the office. Luke opens the base of a trophy to get Milo's codes. Sniper grabs the paper and gets ready to kill them anyway. Luke quickly hits him, knocking him out. Zara takes the gun while Luke grabs both wallets. He tries calling police, but the lines are down. He rushes to the main server to turn them on, only to hear the elevator. When he peeks, Ree knocks him out with a punch. Sniper wakes up. Zara hesitates to shoot, so he jumps on her and steals the gun. When he's about to kill her, Ree shouts behind him. Sniper fires instead. Ree hides quickly, saying police are coming. Sniper leaves to look for Luke and the wallets. Ree approaches Zara. She tells him Milo did it but wasn't in charge. When the gang finally arrives, they find Luke unconscious in the elevator. Ree looks out the window and sees the Secret Service coming, meaning they intercepted his call. He and Zara try to leave but must hide again because the gang is now searching the office. Sniper also spots them. He carefully sneaks around until he can surprise Scotts from behind, choking him to death before taking his gun. Zara uses a computer to send documents to the printer. The gang is distracted by the noise, so she and Ree run. Unfortunately, London sees them and opens fire. Ree is hit by a bullet. The gang surrounds them. Zara wants to know who is behind all this, but the thieves don't know who hired them either. In the corridor, Sniper kills another robber and approaches Luke, asking for the cold wallets. Luke throws them on the floor before closing the elevator doors to go down. After grabbing the wallets, Sniper confronts his teammates. A shootout ensues. After several minutes of gunfire, silence falls. Glasses goes to the corridor to check and finds London and Yorkshire dead. Sniper shoots her too. While Luke reaches the lobby and calls police, Sniper injects drugs into his leg to deal with the pain. Ree and Zara hide in another room. Zara notices Ree has a taser. He tells her money isn't worth risking her life, but Zara doesn't want the entire incident to be pointless. She grabs the taser and goes out. Sniper opens fire when he sees her. Zara hides as he searches the office. She waits for the right moment to jump on him. She tases him down and kicks the gun away. Sniper knocks her down. He punches her, scrambling to grab the weapon first. Zara wants to know the heist's point. Sniper tells her to ask Ree. When he's about to shoot, she manages to tase him again. This time, she keeps it up until he dies. Soon, police arrive. Paramedics take Ree away. Zara reunites with Luke. Sometime later, the media reports a gas leak at the company. It was caused by Milo, who supposedly self-terminated. They also discuss 32 celebrities exposed for having offshore accounts in tax havens. Luke and Zara discuss what to do next. They gave the wallets to the Secret Service and blamed everything on Milo. Luke thinks they have to go on vacation.